Welcome back to the podcast. Today we have a very special guest, a music artist, Yeti Tactics.
What's up, y'all?
All right. So I'm just gonna get into how did you get into performing? Like, just do into your
Yeah, yeah,
music.
yeah. I've been playing my whole life. So I started taking like lessons, piano lessons, when I was like 3 or 4 from a neighbor, and just kind of always did that. And then I ended up quitting piano around like 12 to form a punk rock band with my friends. And then I did that for a few years. You could probably look us up off on a tangent. We had like a bunch of like pop punk songs out, and then around like 14, 15, I got back into piano, started studying jazz, went to school for jazz piano at the University of Windsor up in Canada. I grew up in South Florida, and then just been making music ever since. Performing was like always kind of how I made my living. So I still perform as often as possible, but then production has been my main focus over the last couple of years.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
that's awesome. Um, so your first song was a cover. I saw on your YouTube, right? Was that a cover?
Which one?
It's called Retrograde.
Oh yeah. That was our first on the Yeti Tactics page. That's the first one that popped off. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It got 175,000 views. Well, right now, 4 years ago, but yeah, it was pretty good.
Yep.
And then you're doing a show, like a live show tomorrow, right? For the 1
So
million celebration.
we did that. I think that was 2 Saturdays ago now.
Oh, really? It was
Yeah. So
recorded.
that was yeah. You
Oh,
can still view it. It's on the like Alex Rainberg channel. They've been really cool with us. They support indie artists all over the world. So they've been
oh, that's cool.
they've been a good resource for anybody who puts out stuff on their own. Like definitely hit them up because they're awesome. So
All right, yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. Um, so do you have any like favorite artists, music artists?
yeah. So I mean, James Blake is definitely one of them. That's the guy who like we did that cover of for Retrograde. James
Mm-hmm.
Blake is amazing. Other solo artists I love Jordan Rakei, Jack Garrett, and then as far as bands go, like my all-time favorite is Incubus. I've been listening to them since I was a young boy, and then newer bands I love Laney, I love the 1975, and like that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's awesome. I haven't heard of any of those actually, but that's
Yeah,
that's cool.
I'm a little old. I'm 31 now, so
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, Incubus and the 1975, very awesome bands.
Yeah, but I'm such like Incubus. Like I got some ink representing them just because they've really helped shape not only like my musical taste, but like philosophy about life and love and all that stuff. So
Yeah, as a good band and as a good band would do, you know.
yep, yep.
Like my favorite band is the Chili Peppers, so
Oh hell
just
yeah,
a lot of love there. Um,
yep.
now your music, man, it's amazing. I was checking out the 2018 album. What was it called?
Expectation reality.
Expectation Reality. First off, Foreign Space is awesome, man. That's
Oh thanks, dude.
legit. And then SBU, that guitar solo, that's pretty crazy in there. I love
Yep.
that too. I was just listening to another song. I meant to write it down, but all awesome. And I was also looking 2019. You guys didn't drop anything. You didn't put out any music.
Um, I I don't know that I don't think we did. We were touring a lot at that point and just kind of diving back into like getting our catalog ready for some new releases. So we did a bunch of singles after that album, including Shut It Down, like that's our biggest one up there. And then we got Dime, and then the two newest ones, El Matador and Guest House. Those are from an album that we've already finished. So those are coming out hopefully really soon. We got more stuff in the can. So
that's awesome. Where'd you guys tour at?
we did like in Canada. We did an Ontario tour, Windsor, London, Kitchener, Toronto, Cambridge, and then we've always gone up and down the West Coast because I'm in LA right now. So we a lot of shows in LA, down to San Diego, San Francisco, Seattle. As much as we can hit, and then me and my main collaborator for Yeti Tactics, Sean Sally, we're both from South Florida, so we do a lot of homecoming shows too, which those are insane. Those are really fun.
Oh, so what's your favorite What's your favorite tour, tour place to go?
Yeah, tour destination, I'd say. That's tough because I also tour like with other artists as like a side musician, and I help people
Oh
out
yeah,
on the road, and because I'm kind of just like a Swiss Army knife when it comes to music. So for other stuff, New York is like whenever I'm in New York City playing music, I'm like really excited because people there are just fun, and it's after the show, you end up partying until God knows when and all that. So that New York's a good city for that. But as far as just music fans, especially for Yeti Tactics, I love Toronto. Like we've had a really good time in Toronto.
Toronto.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So how many tours have you guys done so far?
So it's a little different for us because we can't like unless we open up for somebody bigger. Like we're not jumping on a huge nationwide tour. So for us, we're mostly just breaking even, maybe making a little bit of money selling merch and stuff on the road. So we can't go for months at a time, but we'll do, you know, a week here and there, and then we'll hit like the longest I think we ever did was like 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah,
Okay. When you're on tour, and what's your average amount of like people that are there?
it's different every time, and
Different.
for us, like it kind of depends. We target places that we know we have people, including not only fans but friends that can help us out with spreading the word and like selling stuff for us, and also just being hype people and making sure that we get the crowd on our side too. So I'd say normally like between 30 and 80 people. Like, and then in LA and Florida, we can go way more than that. But anywhere outside of our two major cities, it's going to be around that 30 to 80 mark usually.
Okay. Awesome. Do you guys have any? What are you working on right now? Like any music right now?
Yeah, so I'm always working on music because I produce for a bunch of artists too. So morning to night, I'm always making music. And then for the Yeti stuff, I was telling Jesse, we got like the rest of our album is already finished on our end, but we're waiting for our label, which they're in the UK. They're called Pet Shop Records. They're tying up all the financials, all the marketing, all the things that really can hopefully make an album successful. So album number 2 should be out before the summer. So
Awesome. Awesome. That's awesome. Before the summer? Okay.
yeah. So the next single should be out hopefully in the next 3 weeks.
Okay.
And
Definitely looking for that.
yeah, so
Yeah.
we're stoked. We're it's kind of slower for us because until we had the label, everything was on our terms. So if we wanted to put something out, we just did it and went with it, right? But now it's we have a team, and it's amazing because they help us in so many different regards, including just the music. Having somebody awesome like an A&R person to listen to all the stuff that we come up with, it's super helpful. But it is slower, so we're kind of like just waiting right now until we get the go ahead to start releasing stuff again.
Okay.
Right, because your music has to go through a process. Other people have to listen to it as well since you're signed. Is that correct?
Yep. Yeah. So like there's a bunch of songs that didn't make the record, that kind of thing, and then there's a bunch of songs that did make the record, and they have their preferred mixing engineers and people who can finish the job, and then they also have they want to make sure that it coincides with like they don't want too many other songs from their label coming out at the same time
Mhm.
because they want to apply proper resources to each release. So
Nice. Were there songs that didn't make the album that you just wish definitely did make the album, or?
uh, no, because I try to write a lot of music, so for me that's kind of bound to happen. I think where it's
Yeah.
and who knows, one day they might resurface, maybe another project, maybe just a band that I'm producing needs a song, and it turns out that I have the perfect song for them. So there's never a wasted song, that's for sure. Yeah.
Awesome. What are the names of the bands that you're producing for?
Yeah, so check out, there's a band called Paper Jackets. I think y'all would like them a lot.
Paper
Um,
Jackets. Okay.
so I've been doing a lot of stuff for their new album, and that's been a really fun one because it's kind of right up my alley. So I don't have to really aim for anything. I kind of just play with the stuff I like to play, and it all gets everybody's stoked about it. So that's been really fun. And then a bunch of solo artists, a lot of girls: Monique Benaboo, Maddie Ringe, my friend Sam DeRosa, just incredible artists. I'm really lucky.
Awesome. So you said that you play with like your music every day.
Yep.
So what's your like typical day?
All right, I got a pretty dialed in routine right now, actually. So I wake up at 7, and then I have coffee, hang out with my girlfriend. We just like chat, have like a morning powwow. Then around 8 o'clock, I come to the studio, which I'm in here right now. I'll give you a little tour. We got a nice little situation, synthesizers everywhere. It's a vibe. And then, so I come in here
Awesome.
at 8. I do 2 hours of like less creative, usually more like editing, bouncing out stems, email responses, kind of more menial stuff because that's like good for morning times. And then around 10 a.m., I put my gym clothes on and I go to a CrossFit gym and do an hour workout. Then I come home, make a big lunch, and then 1 o'clock, usually an artist is here, and then we're either writing, finishing something, and go till about 6, take a dinner break, and then depending on how burnt out I am or not, I might come back in and do a couple more hours after that.
Cool.
True
Cool.
artist.
Awesome.
Oh, it's I feel so lucky to not only have people who want to work with me, but to have my space and to have the freedom to kind of just go at it and make money doing it too. So I'm just really, really stoked these days, and that routine really helps me too because I make the most out of those hours, and I'm never in here for that long of a stretch that I feel like I'm gonna like lose my mind or anything. So having those little, really, really well coordinated breaks makes a big difference for me.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, doing what you love. I mean, sounds awesome, man. Now you're saying these days, you say you really, really are, enjoying your life. Now, before, did you have to work regular jobs and stuff like that to get to where you're at?
So I've never had a job, but
Nice.
I used to perform covers like 5, 6 nights a week.
Mm.
So bars, restaurants, you name it. I was even a dueling pianist at one time. I've done like every gig you can imagine in the music world. Yeah. So I mean, I know at least 1,000 songs at this point for covers. Like I'm the guy you can just shout a song and I just start playing it because I got
That
ears
guy's
like
your
that too.
campfire, huh?
Yep. Yep.
Now you do. So that's awesome, man. I mean, that's literally the grind and putting your passion into your life. Never working, a regular job like that. Really knowing you're gonna do the music. That's beautiful, man. And that's something a lot of people need to do if they really want to achieve anything. Really.
Yep. Well, and
So,
like what I tell people is like you have to, you know, the main apex of your dream is going to take a really long time to get to, but that doesn't mean that you're not a success. As long as you're doing the thing that you want to be doing in some capacity in a professional way and getting paid for it, I mean, that's the starting point. And then, I know plenty of performers, who are doing the gig circuit like me, who are stuck in that because it's hard to even muster up the energy if you're performing 5, 6 nights a week to come into the studio and do the work you got to do too. But so there's a fine balance. Like I know a lot of people out here who are baristas and bartenders and stuff, and they use that as a ways to fund their creative projects too. So I mean, there's no wrong way to do it. I'd say the main thing is just put as much time in as you possibly can and reserve energy for your creations and for just give yourself some space to like find out who you are too.
Yeah.
right.
So you were saying like people get stuck in like gigs only. How did you go from gigs to a little higher than that?
Yeah, so a few things. Because I always produce my own stuff. So like Yeti Tactics, even before we were Yeti Tactics, we were called Olympic. And then before that, I was doing solo stuff, and I have a solo album on the way soon too, which definitely check that out when it comes. Jordan Sherman, I got some stuff online already too. But so I was always kind of like had my feet in both worlds. But then the real kicker was the pandemic. Like performing wasn't an option anymore, so I went full in on the studio and just kind of instead of being worried about the gigs not happening, I was like, well, what can I do? I can make music in my room. So
Mm-hmm.
so I went full in on that, and then I'm one of the very fortunate ones that I have a great client list, a good reputation, and it's working out right now. But yeah, so you never know. Sometimes life hands you the pivot moments, and you kind of have to recognize that it's happening.
That's awesome. How many songs do you have for your own solo album?
So that's a 6 song EP, and then I've already released three. This like in 2020, I released 3 songs under my name, and then I don't know, after I get done with this album, it's again with a label situation, so I'm kind of waiting to hear when that actually is going to come out. As soon as that comes out, I'll be probably just dropping singles like all the time, just because why not? So
Yeah.
Now, Yeti Tactics, that's your band. So right now, we're just interviewing you. I don't think we even got a formal introduction now. Do you go by something when it's just you on your singles by yourself, or
yes, Jordan Sherman.
Jordan Sherman?
Yeah, and
Oh,
my partner in Yeti Tactics is my best friend from high school. Like we've been through all the things together. He's an amazing, not only musician but all around creative. He is a producer for film and TV out here,
Oh yeah?
and
That's
yeah,
awesome.
Sean Sally. So I mean, he's definitely a guy you want on your team. Like he kind of acts as manager. He's like a very all around like go getter type of dude, and kind of especially in the early days kind of kept me in line because I think I could have been really happy just performing in Beverly Hills every night, making good money and having a good time. But he always was like, no, when are we gonna excuse me, when are we gonna release the next song? You know, and I'm like, I don't know. And so he kind of stayed on me and has been a great support network
Yeah.
and like the whole time that we've been out here. So
Push you to become something more.
yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, so when you were doing your gigs, did you have I'm just curious, did you have any of your fans there or something, or was it just you?
So it's interesting because it's a lot of the places I got really lucky with the gigs out here too. My agent books for like the most high end steakhouses in Southern California. So
Oh, okay.
and it happens to be in Beverly Hills, which is where all the celebrities hang out and come in. So I mean, people I've played for some pretty interesting people, that's for sure. I mean, between Post Malone, uh, Justin Bieber, Joe Rogan, um, that's just a few. The list goes on. I mean, John Legend. I've actually performed with Robin Thicke and like a bunch of stuff like that because we're just jamming and they want to have a good time, so they come up and
That's
kind of enjoy the
awesome.
music and
What
just get in with
restaurant?
us. Yep.
it's awesome,
Yeah.
man.
So that's
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 cool.
been pretty cool. I mean, you never know who's gonna pop in at those, and they're always super busy too. So I mean, I always have a room full of people to perform to.
Do you
Cool.
have some pictures with anybody or any
No,
handshakes with anyone?
I play it too cool, man. I'm like I don't wanna be that dude. I'm always like
Yeah.
trying to act like I've been there before.
Yeah, that's what I would do. I would do the same thing. Just
Yep.
play cool. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm taking pictures.
have proof. Um, okay, that's awesome. So do you have any things for your future? Like, like where I don't know. Where do you see yourself in 2 years? 2 years. Say 2 years.
Yeah. So 2 years. I mean, I'd love to have a publishing deal, which is for those of you who aren't familiar, is you get taken on by there's companies that their specialty is publishing material and owning the rights and knowing how to get them to bigger artists and how to get them to do the best that they can possibly do. And what they do is they have a roster of writers and producers who they pay up front to be always working on songs, and that way, because otherwise, if they can't expect you to constantly churn out hits if you have to like have a job, for example, right? So it becomes your job, and they allow that to be your job by paying you something called an advance. So and then it's like usually a 2 year deal, and you get a ton of money up front, and you have to recoup it all. So you have to get cuts, and like your songs actually have to do well. But if you're making the songs anyway, I mean, it seems like that it's going to be right around the corner for me. I have a bunch of friends who are totally in that world right now too. So I'm like, I could see that even by the end of this year, hopefully, where I have a company who's sponsoring all my studio time.
That's awesome. That's
And
cool.
on top of that, I guess on the artist side, I mean, with Yeti Tactics album coming out, and then I just started writing some new songs for Yeti Tactics too, which I could send you a little preview so you can hear a couple of the new ones.
Oh,
But
cool.
hopefully, just continue to release music and find amazing fans all over the world who really appreciate what we do. We don't need a ton of fans. We just need people who want to hear more.
Want to hear your music? Yeah. Yep. So El Matador, is that how you say it?
Yep. Yeah,
That's
El
like one
Matador.
of
Yeah.
your like bigger songs. You played
Yep.
that recorded it for the live performance thing.
Yep.
How did you make that song?
It's kind of an interesting story. It's not exactly the most G-rated story, but I'll give I'll say it the best I can.
Okay.
So, me and my bandmate, we were on the beach in Malibu. There's actually a beach called El Matador,
Mhm.
and we were having a bit of a psychedelic experience on the beach, and it went really south for Sean, and he actually thought he was gonna die, and I had to talk him through his own death. I guess it's not
His
he
own
didn't
head,
die,
yeah.
obviously, but it's like an ego death. Like he kind of all of his ties to the regular world started to just kind of evaporate. So the next day, I was in my studio doing my normal thing after coffee, and I wrote the whole song in about 30 minutes.
The whole entire song?
Yep, and it was just one of those things. It just because for me, and it's interesting because we had such contrasting experiences. Like mine was very beautiful, and like I felt so much love coming through me and seeing this beautiful beach, and then meanwhile my best friend
Is like
was
out
having
of
the
it,
worst time
yeah.
of his life. So the lyrics are actually fairly negative and like more from his perspective. And I wrote, I can see the sun somewhere in the distance in a world that's new to me. I'm having trouble with my circumstances. I'm getting pulled out to the sea. I'm holding on while my ego's failing, can't locate my identity. Phone home, sea foam, don't know if this will be my last breath. So it's like
From his
pretty
point of
heavy
view, kind of.
lyrically. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the music is beautiful and pleasant and like really easy to listen to. So it's kind of an interesting contrast.
Yeah, so it's kind of like both your guys' experience in like one song. Yeah. I would never guess that. That's
I know.
fun.
I always wonder what I probably shouldn't say so much about it. I could be like, oh well, what do you think it is?
Yeah, I was curious. Um, so your newest song is Guest House? Is that your newest
Yeah,
song?
yeah, that was
Yeah.
the last single. Yeah.
So you guys did a music video for that one. Is that your guys' first music video? Or no?
No, we've done a few music videos,
Season
but
one?
that one is an amazing story too because El Matador came out and we were getting a lot of love, and the streaming numbers aren't crazy, but the people who listen to it really really love it. So we actually were talking to a fan in Atlanta, Georgia, and he's like, "Hey, can I make a music video for you?" And
Oh wow.
I'm like, I mean, maybe. I don't know. And so we started jumping on some Zoom calls, and I kind of just like said, you know what? Let's just give it a try. We'll talk to creative as best we can. We'll give you a small budget so we can at least you don't have to spend any of your own money. And he made that video in a weekend with his friends and sent it over, and I was just blown away. I'm like, wow, like so,
That's awesome.
the internet is a beautiful place sometimes, and I just love how the new songs in particular have been connecting with people enough that they, not only are investing their time and energy listening to our music, but they want to like contribute and be a part of it, and it's a really beautiful thing.
Yeah, dude, I was gonna ask you the same thing. Believe it or not, I was like, if you ever need someone to do a music video for you, I can do it. Because I've been wanting to get into music video editing. I do YouTube vlogs for my cousin Orlando. He was a previous minor league baseball player. And what he does is he brings on minor leaguers or professional baseball players. And he goes on like 9 or 18 holes and plays a round of golf with them. And while he's doing that, he interviews them. And then sometimes it can be funny.
Yeah.
It could be I don't know. It's like a comedy type of vlog. And I edit it, and it's really fun to do. I film and edit it. So it's called OGV. It's fun to
Oh
do.
yeah,
So I've been looking
I'll
for
check
some
that out.
more things to do. So
That's a really good idea for a show too. It
yeah,
kind of reminds me of like the Hot Ones thing, but instead of eating hot wings, playing golf. Like it's
yeah,
a really good idea. Yeah.
yeah. That's
Nice.
awesome,
Well, yeah. I mean, we got stuff coming up, and we're always down to collaborate with people, and
dude. I would be
especially when.
100% down. 100%. I got the camera. I just got this camera. That's why I was um, vlogging for his YouTube channel.
Oh
So
yeah.
yep,
Well, at the very least, we can always do some type of social like cool thing.
yeah,
There's anything is possible these days. So
yeah.
it's amazing. So good, very good to know, and I'm definitely want to check out that show too. Cause
Yeah, it's called
sounds
OGV.
interesting.
It stands for Orlando Golf Vlogs, and his like symbol is like a golf ball for the O, and then a G, and then the V with like golf putters for the V.
Dope,
That was pretty cool.
dope.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I'll check it out.
yeah, I love doing editing, and that's like my favorite thing. And I have so many ideas. I was brainstorming one night, and I was like, what are some good ideas for music videos? And I have just a list, a full page just of like different genres of music, like indie, rock, pop, just all these different like genres of topics of music videos for music videos. So
Amazing. Yeah, well,
yeah,
definitely hit the ground running. Go like especially people. Where are you located?
Arizona. I'm in Arizona.
Oh yeah, I was just in Scottsdale a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah,
One of my favorite places in the country is Sedona.
Sedona. Yeah, that's the number one like touristy spot to go to.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
I've
I
gone
like it.
there.
It's fun.
I've gone there to record some records with some clients because like rent a Airbnb with a beautiful view and bring my gear, and we can make a record in a week, and it's that's quite the inspiring place. Sedona's
Yeah.
amazing.
There's some pretty cool spots there too to see, like the sunset when it goes down there and you're on top of a rock or something.
Yeah,
It's really cool to see. I've been down there a couple
yeah,
times.
especially after like a hard day of like making music and making somebody sing something 1,000 times in a
Hmm.
row, and then go and step out on a rock and witness the most beautiful sunset of your life. It's
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah, we have some cool sunsets down here. In my opinion, I like our sunsets, but
And there's a lot of art stuff there.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, there's. I was just saw some kid the other day from Arizona. I can't remember what his name was, but yeah, there's talent everywhere, and if you want to make the music videos, just start hitting people up. People would probably say yes.
dude, yeah, that's what I'm gonna try and do. I'm gonna try to get the emails, and I'm like, hey, I do this. Let me know. I do the OGV thing. Edit that, and then let me know if you need any help with your music video, and I can edit it for you. I can do it yeah, that's what I've been trying to do. Yep. So what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the future. So the future.
Yeah. Oh god, the future. Yeah.
So do you have merch? You have merch, right?
I think we're sold out at the moment. I think we still have masks. We have Yeti Texas masks.
Yeti Texas.
But all the rest of the stuff. Actually, no, we still have a few LPs. We sell Expectation Reality on vinyl.
Really? On records?
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. That's cool. Do you
Still
have
doing
any
that
like
stuff.
plans for that? Like, do you have any new designs or anything?
I think right now, especially because touring was like usually the best time to sell
Yeah.
stuff like that. We're gonna just stick to the media side of it and just try to make more videos and do as much content as possible. It's been a little tricky since Sean moved back to Florida because of all the COVID stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on my lonesome out here in LA, but he'll be back before too long, and we can get back to like making especially video content. Audio, like I handle most of it anyway, and we can have Zoom sessions where I ask him for what's missing, what should we do, is this lyric bad, all that.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
that's
then,
awesome.
as far as getting like actual content together, it's been a little tricky, but
Yeah, I bet, because it's all the way across the country. That's cool. So, what do you want? What's the first thing you want to do after COVID? And well, not ends, but like is mostly done.
And we can, yeah. I mean, it would be amazing to pack a club, here in LA, like with 250 people, people sweating on each other and vibing out to our music. I mean, that would be amazing.
Yeah, that would. Yeah, full on concert type of thing.
Yeah, it's because that's been a long time now. Been over a year, and I think what was our last? We played in February of 2020, so we got one in. Like it was a really nice show too at this place called the Peppermint Club,
Mhm.
and yeah, just to do that again would be amazing. Just to, or and then with touring to show up places and like actually get to hang out with people and not be worried about God knows what, and just kind of that sense of freedom, that sense of fun, all of that. I can't wait.
Yeah, I bet. I bet concerts are like something a musician just like one of their favorite things is to have like interact with the fans, play the music for them, and the fans just loving and have you has the fans ever sang your lyrics?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That is one of the cooler things that can happen, and that is like probably the best feeling ever. I mean, getting people to dance with you is amazing too, but then getting people to sing with you on your songs, especially if they don't even know necessarily what it's about, like El Matador or something.
Mhm.
But it still resonates and it still connects with people, and that's the beauty of music over a lot of other mediums is you don't have to understand it, you don't have to even think because you can interpret it your own way, but it also hits you in a visceral way that has nothing to do with your intellect or anything like that. It's a vibe. So
Yeah.
that's like my favorite part about being in a band and like making our own stuff and having fans. Like just knowing that people can connect with it in their own way. They don't have to think the way I do. They don't have to even understand what I'm saying, but they can feel what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only like I feel like I could write a song, but I don't feel like I can sing it. Like I can totally write a song and make it and I have the beat in my mind, but I just don't know how to make it. Like, do you have any advice for that for people who are just
Um.
wanting to make music or
Well,
just beginning?
songwriting is probably the hardest part of the whole process.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah.
Oh.
Um. So I would say keep writing songs, and if you have trouble singing them, just try to make them singable for yourself, right? So whatever that looks like, whatever your range is, because I know so many amazing musicians that they could write parts to a song, they could write melody, they could write maybe the chords, they could do a bunch of stuff, right? But to actually make a complete song, you'd be shocked at how many people can't do that.
Really? I find it so easy to make it like a song. I don't know, that's just me, but
Well,
I
it seems it's it's the easiest looking from the outside for sure,
yeah.
and it's also one of those things where I think everybody thinks they can until you actually go to do it and like actually lay things down and like it has to like actually come out. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like that's where because I don't know how many friends, especially early on, who would be like criticizing my songwriting, like yeah, the song's cool, but the lyrics aren't great. I don't know, or this that, and I'm like, I'm not saying I disagree. Like you're probably right because I was just still in the beginning, right? But then I would be like, well, why don't you write one? And oh yeah, I mean I could, it's easy, but and then they just wouldn't. I'm
They
like,
can
oh,
yeah.
interesting,
Mhm. Yeah, like I've written a song, like a full on song, like the chorus one, and then verse, and then a couple verses, and then the chorus again.
Yep.
I find that that's like the easiest part for me, but like putting it on, like producing it, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's harder for me. I don't know
But
why.
that's why collaboration is such an important part of the music world. Because if you can conceptually come up with a piece and then you know somebody who can actually make that vision come to life, now all of a sudden you're actually something greater than just somebody with an idea or somebody who can make sounds. Like so you need your counterpart to
Yeah.
help you make something happen.
Mhm. All right, I got one more question. This is like the question we ask everybody. Um,
Great.
who's your favorite celebrity?
Like celeb, like not musician, or
Yeah, like well, it could be just someone who's like A-list celebrity.
A-list. Okay, let's see. Oh,
There's a lot.
you know, maybe I'll just go by like people that I've met who are nice to me. Like,
It's a good way.
like, like I will say, Justin Bieber was actually super
You
cool.
talked to him? You talked to Justin Bieber?
Oh yeah, he's a nice dude. He wanted to play drums on stage with us.
Oh, really? Did he?
And yep, and he's just cool. He's just
That's awesome.
a nice dude. You know, I had all these preconceived ideas about him, but he just, I don't know, he seems like just a genuinely nice dude.
Yeah. Justin Bieber?
Yep.
JB. I like JB
Yep,
too.
and I love his music too. It's like kind of a guilty pleasure. Like, the music's always good. His voice, the melodies, you know, he's all
Yeah.
around.
A lot of people hate on him, but like, he's like probably the number one pop singer in the world. Like,
Absolutely.
yeah, there's no way he's not. And I feel like he's matured a lot too during like after he got married. I feel like,
No, he seems like he just cares about making music and, you know, living a decent life. So, and that's
Yeah.
exactly what I'm trying to do. So,
that's so. Do you have any stories of like meeting celebrities, or have you just like had conversations
Yeah.
with them?
it's I guess the funniest one might have been Jamie Foxx actually. It was his birthday,
Mhm.
and the people who were waiting on him at the restaurant came to me and asked me if I could go to the private room that he was in and sing happy birthday to him. And it's right before I get in, because the people were walking in with the cake in front of me and I'm behind, and as soon as I walk in, the rest of his whole crew starts singing the happy birthday, and they're doing this whole thing, and I'm like behind, and I'm like just kind of awkward, and I just kind of stood there. I'm like, well, I just turned around because I was like, this is not.
You didn't.
This ain't
You're just
working
like,
out.
okay, never mind.
I missed my chance. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I don't think he wants this anyway. So.
Did they just ask you, or did he like ask you?
No, the managers from the restaurant.
Oh.
They thought it would be cool, and you know, and he likes it. He always loves the music. Like I've met him a couple times in passing, but like to actually sing for him on his birthday when the cake's coming out, like it wasn't cool. It sounded like it could have been cool, but it wasn't cool.
No.
No.
All right, that was good stuff. That felt like 2 minutes. That was 30 minutes. It was pretty long.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's
Cool.
all I have
Thanks
for
so much
you.
for having me.
Yeah.
You know, keep on keeping on, and you know, let me know if there's any way I can help you guys in terms of, you know, just even if it's just sending me something that you have that's an idea, and I can
Yeah.
spare a couple minutes and give you some feedback or anything like that. I'm around. So.
Cool.
All right.
Cool.
Well, yeah. Take care.
Yep. Thanks for coming on.